It's been in news. We've been chatting about it all morning. We expect you have been as well, and perhaps for, as Dave thinks, the next 10 years or so. Calgary next. This is the Calgary Flames proposal for a new multi-use facility. Everything and the kitchen sink right there. And so asking people what they thought, weighing in on our Facebook page, and we all have our opinions here as well. Leanne on our Facebook page says, do we really want it that close to the river? We learned nothing. Cody replies, it's not on the floodplain. This area never flooded. Dave, you also said the same thing, and this is what they mentioned yesterday. Jessica says, terrible. Where's the parking? Also something we've been talking about. Brent says, I think it's a a fantastic plan as long as it doesn't cost me a dime. Nothing. And I mean not any tax dollars. Nothing.
Zero.
Zero.
Yeah.
So somebody else weighed in on my personal Facebook page saying, yes, no public funds.
Yeah, that's going to be a big bone of contention, because currently, as they broke it down, the $890 million estimate cost, $200 million from the Flames, so from the business, the Calgary Flames business, $200 million from the city, $200 million from the city that's already been earmarked for a field house to be built up the foothills, $240 million from a community revitalization levy, and $250 million from a ticket tax.
Community revitalization levy.
What? Googled that up.
Yeah.
And this is something that they did in the East Village and raised $375 million. So it's a sort of a area-specific property tax.
Right.
But you know, there was $2 billion worth of development there, and that's what they're counting on here. You see all these schematics that they're throwing up there. There's all these towers around that
Can we
aren't
bring
really
another
being
graphic,
talked
guys,
about
or-
much. But all that development is where all that that levy revenue, I suspect, would come from.
Sure, yeah. You see the buildings here, right? Condos and whatnot, because there's nothing there right now.
Those
well, the
aren't
Pump
there.
House Theater, I guess, is down there, but it's mostly just grassland, right?
Yeah, and some car dealerships, etc. And also, what bears repeating is that this land is actually technically contaminated, so will need to be dealt with in some form before this begins, and the price tag of that is
nobody knows.
Undetermined.
And how long it will take is something else that's undetermined. And that's, I didn't mean to throw cold water on it before when I said 10 years, but the Edmonton Rogers Place, which opens next season, that conversation began just like this in 2005.
So
and there was no football stadium involved, and I mean, there's going to be 5 years worth of debating before we get anything done.
Well, it's funny, to Leanne's point there about the parking. I think it was Leanne who said, what about the parking on our Facebook page? You know, I like the fact that I've been saying extend its free sea train zone, but a lot of people who can't see concerts like Taylor Swift drive up to Edmonton and make the trek. If you think it's going to, it'll service Southern Alberta to a certain extent. If you live in Chestermere and you have a small family, you want to come to town, you can't exactly take the C train. You want to drive in, and maybe you have a small child with you, and it's a Stamps game. You'd like to park at the venue. You've paid your money for your ticket. There's no feasible parking. You're not going to take your family and load them on the C train. You know.
I am going to play the devil's advocate here, and I'm going to say that there are suburban examples that also don't work. I mean, if you look at the Canadian Tire place or center in Ottawa, where the Senators play, I mean, that place is in the middle of nowhere, and there's plenty of parking, except that it's so hard to get to, and public transit doesn't really service it.
It's one way in, one way out.
And travel is terrible.
Having said that, that is saying no, there's absolutely no parking. 2,500 stalls. If you had a concert and a Stamps game, that's 50,000 people in that area.
In the one venue,
Bottom line is, it's going to happen at the end of the day because it has to happen.
Right.
End of the day in 10 years.
We've got the oldest stadium. Heck, Regina's going to have a brand new stadium. Can we sit back and look at that? Edmonton's going to have a brand new hockey arena. We can't sit back and let other cities bypass us. I mean,
we're already seeing loss to revenue big time with the Taylor Swifts and the other bands that just can't play here because the dome can't handle the stuff, can't handle the equipment, right?
And in every one of those other cities I mentioned, municipal funding and taxpayer dollars have been spent.
The conversation continues. Do feel free to continue to weigh in on our Facebook page.